off the coast of the Greek island of Carpathos, within the Athens sphere. A mock dogfight ensued between the two sides, resulting in a mid-air collision between a Turkish F-16 and a Greek F-16. The Turkish pilot ejected safely, but the Greek pilot died owing to damage caused by the collision. Turkey used its F-16s extensively in its conflict with Kurdish insurgents in southeastern parts of Turkey and Iraq. Turkey launched its first cross-border raid on the 16th of December, 2007, a prelude to the 2008 Turkish incursion into northern Iraq, involving 50 fighters before Operation Sun. This was the first time Turkey had mounted a night bombing operation on a massive scale, and also the largest operation conducted by the Turkish Air Force. During the Syrian civil war, Turkish F-16s were tasked with airspace protection on the Syrian border. After the RF-4 downing in June 2012, Turkey changed its rules of engagement against Syrian aircraft, resulting in scrambles and downings of Syrian combat aircraft. On the 16th of September, 2013, a Turkish Air Force F-16 shot down a Syrian Arab Air Force Mi-17 helicopter near the Turkish border. On the 23rd of March, 2014, a Turkish Air Force F-16 shot down a Syrian Arab Air Force MiG-23 when it allegedly entered Turkish airspace during a ground attack mission against Al-Qaeda-linked insurgents. On the 16th of May, 2015, two Turkish Air Force F-16s shot down a Syrian Mohajer-4 UAV firing two AIM-9 missiles after it trespassed into Turkish airspace for 5 minutes. A Turkish Air Force F-16 shot down a Russian Air Force Sukhoi Su-24 on the Turkey-Syria border on the 24th of November, 2015. On the 1st of March, 2020, two Syrian Sukhoi Su-24s were shot down by Turkish Air Force F-16s using air-to-air missiles over Syria's Idlib governorate. All 4 pilots safely ejected. On the 3rd of March, 2020, a Syrian Arab Army Air Force L-39 combat trainer was shot down by a Turkish F-16 over Syria's Idlib province. The pilot died. As a part of Turkish F-16 modernization program, new air-to-air missiles are being developed and tested for the aircraft. The program led by Tubatak Sage has presented 2 types of air-to-air missiles named as Bozdogan, Merlin, and Gokdogan, Peregrine. While Bozdogan has been categorized as a within visual range air-to-air missile, VRAM, Gokdogan is a beyond visual range air-to-air missile, VRAM. On the 14th of April, 2021, first live test exercise of Bozdogan have successfully completed, and the first batch of missiles are expected to be delivered throughout the same year to the Turkish Air Force. Egypt, edit. On the 16th of February, 2015, Egyptian F-16s struck weapons caches and training camps of the Islamic State, ISIS, in Libya in retaliation for the murder of 21 Egyptian Coptic Christian construction workers by masked militants affiliated with ISIS. The airstrikes killed 64 ISIS fighters, including 3 leaders in Derna and Sirte on the coast. Europe, edit. See also, General Dynamics F-16 fighting Falcon operators. The Royal Netherlands Air Force, Belgian Air Component, Royal Danish Air Force and Royal Norwegian Air Force all fly the F-16. All F-16s in most European air forces are equipped with drag chutes specifically to allow them to operate from automobile highways. A Yugoslavian MiG-29 was shot down by a Dutch F-16M during the Kosovo War in 1999. Belgian and Danish F-16s also participated in joint operations over Kosovo during the war. Dutch, Belgian, Danish, and Norwegian F-16s were deployed during the 2011 intervention in Libya and in Afghanistan. In Libya, Norwegian F-16s dropped almost 550 bombs and flew 596 missions, some 17% of the total strike missions including the bombing of Muammar Gaddafi's headquarters. In late March 2018, Croatia announced its intention to purchase 12 used Israeli F-16C/D Barak/Brakeet jets, pending U.S. approval. Acquiring these F-16s would allow Croatia to retire its aging MiG-21s. In January 2019, the deal was cancelled because U.S. would only allow the resale if Israel stripped the planes of all the modernized electronics, while Croatia insisted on the original deal with all the upgrades installed. At the end of November 2021, Croatia signed with France instead, for 12 Rafales. On the 11th of July 2018, Slovakia's government approved the purchase of 14 F-16 Block 70/72 to replace its aging fleet of Soviet-made MiG-29s. A contract was signed on the 12th of December 2018 in Bratislava. Ukraine, edit. In May 2023, an international coalition consisting of the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Belgium and Denmark announced their intention to train Ukrainian Air Force pilots on the F-16 ahead of possible future deliveries to increase the Ukrainian Air Force capabilities in the current Russo-Ukrainian war. The US confirmed that it would approve the re-export from these countries to Ukraine. Denmark has agreed to help train Ukrainians on their usage of the fighter. Denmark's acting defense minister Troels Lund Poulsen said that Denmark will now be able to move forward for a collective contribution to train Ukrainian pilots to fly F-16s. On the 6th of July 2023, Romania announced that it will host the future training center after the meeting of the Supreme Council of National Defense. During the 2023 Vilnius summit, a coalition was formed consisting of Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium, Canada, Luxembourg, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Sweden, the United Kingdom, and Ukraine. A number of Ukrainian pilots began training in Denmark and the US. The European F-16 Training Center, organized by Romania, the Netherlands, and Lockheed Martin through several subcontractors, officially opened on the 13th of November 2023. It is located at the Romanian Air Force's 86th Air Base, and Ukrainian pilots began training there in September 2024. On the 17th of August 2023, the US approved the transfer of F-16s from the Netherlands and Denmark to Ukraine after the Ukrainian pilots have completed their training. The Netherlands and Denmark have announced that together they will donate up to 61 F-16M/BM Block 15 MLU fighters to Ukraine once pilot training has been completed. On the 13th of May 2024, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said that F-16 from Denmark will be in the air over Ukraine within months. Denmark is sending 19 F-16s in total. By the end of July 2024, the first F-16s were delivered to Ukraine. On the 4th of August 2024, President Zelensky announced to the public that the F-16 was now in operational service with Ukraine. Zelensky stated at an opening ceremony that F-16s are in Ukraine. We did it. I am proud of our guys who are mastering these jets and have already started using them for our country. On the 26th of August 2024, F-16s were reportedly used to intercept Russian cruise missiles for the first time. Also on the 26th of August, a Ukrainian F-16 crashed and the pilot, Oleksiy Miz, was killed while intercepting Russian aerial targets during the cruise missile strikes. The cause is under investigation. On the 13th of December, 2024, the Ukrainian Air Force claimed an F-16 shot down 6 Russian cruise missiles. 2 were shot down with medium-range missiles, another 2 with short-range missiles, and 2 were claimed to be downed by the 20mm cannon. Combat losses, edit. Ukraine has lost 2 F-16. On the 30th of August, 2024, the commander of the Ukrainian Air Force, Mykola Oleshchuk, was dismissed by President Zelensky and replaced by Lieutenant General Anatoly Krivenochko, which was partially attributed to indications that the F-16 that crashed on the 26th of August was shot down in a friendly fire incident. Ukrainian parliamentarian Mariana Bazula and Oleshchuk had previously argued over the cause of the F-16 loss. On the 12th of April, 2025, Ukraine stated pilot Pavlo Ivanov was killed in action flying an F-16. BBC Ukraine reported that Russia had fired 3 missiles at the F-16, which was probably flying over the Sumy region, including S-400 ground-to-air and R-37 air-to-air missiles. Others, edit. Venezuela Air Force have flown the F-16 on combat missions. During the November 1992 Venezuelan coup attempt, 2 F-16 belonging to the government loyalist managed to shoot down 2 of 10 Bronco and an At-27 Tucano flown by the rebels and establishing aerial superiority for the government forces. 2 F-16B of the Indonesian Air Force intercepted and engaged several U.S. Navy F-18 Hornets over the Java Sea in the 2003 Bouillon incident. The Royal Moroccan Air Force and the Royal Bahraini Air Force each lost a single F-16C, both shot down by Houthi anti-aircraft fire during the Saudi Arabian-led intervention in Yemen, respectively on the 11th of May, 2015 and on the 30th of December, 2015. On the 11th of October, 2023, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Regional Security Myra Resnick confirmed to Jorge Arguello, Argentinian ambassador to the U.S., that the State Department has approved the transfer of 38 F-16s from Denmark. On the 16th of April, 2024, it was announced by Defense Minister Louis Petri that the country went through with the purchase of 24 plus 1 Danish F-16s, that are to be brought up to date before they are sent to Argentina. The 25th plane, an F-16B MLU Block 10 meant for mechanics training, came disassembled in an Argentinian C-130 in late December 2024. 6 F-16s a year are to be delivered from Denmark to Argentina until all are delivered, with the first batch expected around November 2025. In 2019, the U.S. State Department approved the possible sale of 8 F-16 Block 70s to Bulgaria, and the deal was approved by the Bulgarian Parliament and President Rumen Radev. In November 2022, the purchase of a further 8 F-16 Block 70 fighters, spares, weapons and other systems was approved for delivery in 2027. The Bulgarian Air Force expects delivery of the first 8 new F-16 Block 70s by 2025 and the second batch of 8 F-16 Block 70s is expected in 2027. In 2024, Argentina selected a bid for 24 F-16M/BM aircraft from Denmark, instead of one from JF-17s from China/Pakistan. The first aircraft, a F-16B, was unveiled in Buenos Aires on the 24th of February 2025. Potential operators, edit. Philippines, edit. In 2021, the Defense Security Cooperation Agency approved the Philippines' purchase of 12 F-16s worth an estimated $2.43 billion. However, the Philippines has yet to complete this deal due to financial constraints with negotiations ongoing. In April 2025, the possible sale of 20 F-16s were approved. Vietnam, edit. In 2025, multiple news channels reported that Vietnam is finalizing an agreement to purchase at least 24 F-16s, possibly the F-16V variant. Civilian operators, edit. Top aces, edit. In January 2021, Canadian defense contractor Top Aces announced that they had taken delivery of the first civilian-owned F-16s to their US HQ in Mesa, Arizona. In an approval process that had taken years, they had purchased a batch of 29 F-16A/B nets from the Israeli Air Force, including several that had taken part in Operation Opera. A year later, the first of these aircraft had finished the extensive AAMS mission system upgrades including AESA radar, HMCS, ECM, and tactical data link. In late 2022 they began regular operations flying as contracted aggressors for USAF F-22 and F-35 squadrons in Luke AFB and Eglin AFB, as well as supporting exercises in other USAF and USMC bases. Variants, edit. Main article, General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon variants. F-16 models are denoted by increasing block numbers to denote upgrades. The blocks cover both single and two-seat versions. A variety of software, hardware, systems, weapons compatibility, and structural enhancements have been instituted over the years to gradually upgrade production models and retrofit delivered aircraft. While many F-16s were produced according to these block designs, there have been many other variants with significant changes, usually because of modification programs. Other changes have resulted in role specialization, such as the close air support and reconnaissance variants. Several models were also developed to test new technology. The F-16 design also inspired the design of other aircraft, which are considered derivatives. Older F-16s are being converted into QF-16 drone targets. F-16A/B. The F-16A, single-seat, and F-16B, two-seat, were initial production variants. These variants include the Block 1, 5, 10, 15, and 20 versions. Block 15 was the first major change to the F-16 with larger horizontal stabilizers. It is the most numerous of all F-16 variants with 983 produced. Around 300 earlier USAF F-16A and B aircraft were upgraded to the Block 15 Midlife Update (MLU) standard, getting analogous capability to F-16C/D Block 50/52 aircraft. From 1987 a total of 214 Block 15 aircraft were upgraded to OCU, Operational Capability Upgrade, standard, with engines, structural and electronic improvements, and from 1988 all Block 15 were directly billed to OCU specifications. Between 1989 and 1992 a total of 271 Block 15 OCU airframes, 246 F-16A and 25 F-16B, were converted at the Ogden Air Logistics Center to the ADF, Air Defense Fighter, variant, with improved IFF system, radio and radar, the ability to carry advanced beyond visual range missiles and the addition of a side-mounted 150,000 candle power spotlight for visual night identification of intruders. Originally intended for Cold War air defense of the continental U.S. airspace, with the fall of the Berlin Wall the ADF lost a clear mission, and most were mothballed starting from 1994. Some mothballed ADFs were later exported to Jordan, 12A and 4B models, and Thailand, 15A and 1B, while 30A and 4B models were leased to Italy from 2003 to 2012. F-16C/D. The F-16C, single-seat, and F-16D, two-seat, variants entered production in 1984. The first C/D version was the Block 25 with improved cockpit avionics and radar, which added all-weather capability with beyond visual range, BVR, AIM-7 and AIM-120 air-air missiles. Block 30/32, 40/42, and 50/52 were later C/D versions. The F-16C/D had a unit cost of $18.8 million, 1998. Operational cost per flight hour has been estimated at $7,000 to $22,470 or $24,000, depending on the calculation method. F-16E/F. The F-16E, single-seat, and F-16F, two-seat, are newer F-16 Block 60 variants based on the F-16C/D Block 50/52. The United Arab Emirates invested heavily in their development. They feature improved and /APG-80 active electronically scanned array, AESA, radar, infrared search and track, IRST, avionics, conformal fuel tanks, CFTs, and the more powerful General Electric F-110 GE132 engine.